welcome everyone. I think I speak for both of us when I say we can't be happier to see every single person who has meant so much to us for our lives and the length of this relationship all be in one single room together. It makes me and it makes Andy really, really happy.
I'm especially happy to break my 9 3/4 streak of not marrying Sam. So it's a very big day for me just in that alone, obviously. We just wanted to take the time to thank you and welcome you to our wedding. And I wanted to also especially thank our amazing parents who not only found this venue, but thank you. And just made our wedding dreams come true. So we're so excited. This is just the beginning of the evening.
And bankrolled our lives.
Mic drop. That's all. Can't top that. Thanks, guys. Enjoy dinner.
So I'm the father of the groom, and in case you're wondering, growing up, Andy used to be referred to as Mini-Me. And so I take it as a compliment, particularly now that he's turned out to be such a fine man and all that. So at this stage of the reception, it's traditional to have the groom's father welcome the bride into the family. All right, but that's not necessary here because we've already done that. As you may have heard in the ceremony, Sam and Andy lived with us for 15 months during COVID, and basically we had dinner every night during those 15 months. So, you know, she's part of the family. So, but the notion of welcoming Sam into the family sort of ass backwards, if you ask me. I want to thank Sam for joining our family. And also I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Salute.
I want to thank Mini-Me's father. That was absolutely amazing. You did a brilliant job, just not tonight, but with Andy, every day of his life, he's amazing. You guys are probably wondering who I am. You're like, was Andy in prison? Who is that? How did he get a friend like that? And you know, I was not, but Andy has befriended me for a very long time. I actually knew Sam first. Sam and I worked at this amazing Spanish restaurant, and where she literally changed lives, one tapas at a time. Like one at a time. Yeah. Do you want to have the best night of your life? Have the patatas bravas. But then she cared, and she was compassionate, and she meant it. And I always knew if she was having a bad night, because you wouldn't find her in the service station. You would find her in the coat closet. And she would be in there just ready to regroup and come back out and change someone's life and just make it better. And I was always in there for her with support. And then she'd be like, if you're in here and I'm in here, then who's out there? It's okay. It's just tapas. And then, as life would have it, I'm a bartender. The secret's out. And Andy likes wine. And one night, Andy and I met, and there was a reflection of a wine bottle in my eye, and there was a reflection of me in his. And we have been friends since that moment. It just blossomed. And he always looked out for me. I'm a kid from Cincinnati, Ohio. He took me to my first opera. Sam and Andy took me to my first opera. I YouTubed like what to wear. I bought a bow tie, and then I sprinted the length of Central Park to get there in time, all the way to Lincoln Center, because there's no way you're late with Andy. You know that. It was an amazing opera. It led to a lot of amazing things in my life, because after that, Andy's like, did you see that opera? I'm like, yeah, man, that was great. He's like, wait, won't you see me do it? If anyone here has ever seen Andy do opera, it is phenomenal. He is a star. We're all witnessing this. And tonight, we have witnessed stars collide. Sam and Andy, where compassion, passion meets intelligence, performance. You guys are amazing. You're beautiful, and I always knew it was going to happen. Because before, I'm going to end soon, I promise. I see that, like, I got the light already. It's like, let's go. But you know what I mean? I haven't performed since before the pandemic, and this is an amazing crowd. So, thank you. Amazing. Amazing crowd. Amazing staff. This staff is amazing. Thank you. Oh, the rabbi, the one job I wanted tonight, I wanted to be the rabbi so badly. If anyone needs one, I'm not one, but I'll play one on TV. If there's anyone here from Hollywood, I did not write this speech. I stand with the writers. I am on strike. So I'm glad you guys are big fans of improv, because not a lot of people are. But thank you very much for this show. A long time ago, I decided that Sam and Andy were one. So I've always called them, and I've never told anyone this, and I will tell you tonight, I've always called them Samdy. Samdy. What restaurant are you going tonight? I'm like, I'm going to dine at La Samdy. Because if anyone's ever been to dinner at Samdy's, it is one of the greatest experiences of your life. I yelped about it. It was so amazing. I was like, the chef is amazing, but the maitre d' sat at my table all night long. Amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to toast you to Samdy. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. For those of you who do not know me, I am George Slotin, and it is my absolute honor to be Andy's best man. Sam, Andy, and I met at NYU many years ago, and even though we were 2 years apart, I quickly made up for lost time by asserting myself into their lives, whether they wanted me to or not. I'd like it to be known that I could write an even better best man speech for Sam, but I've only been tasked with saying a few niceties about this handsome Jew over there. Despite our height differences, I have always looked up to Andy. This man has inspired me in so many ways, and before I met him, I was, according to him, just a nobody. Now, after 12 years of tutelage from the School of How to Be a Great Man, a great Andy Zimmerman, I can now speak to you about some qualities Andy has that I hope to learn in years to come. We all know that Andy possesses incredible street smarts, but don't sleep on his book smarts. According to Andy, he's a genius, and I have to agree. We have spent hundreds of hours playing Jeopardy, only after Sam has made us a 3 Michelin star home-cooked meal. Every single time a question has stumped both of us, Andy would grimace at the television, searching for the correct answer in the back of his brain, only to be interrupted by Alex Trebek's darn buzzer. Trebek would then reveal the correct answer, and without skipping a beat, Andy would follow the reveal of the answer with some version of, correct, yeah, that's it, I knew it, another point for me. This is a man who feels the need to tell me that whatever answer Alex Trebek gives is correct after we have been told it is the correct answer. A true genius at work. I cannot wait to one day have the breadth of knowledge Andy Zimmerman has. Andy is a world traveler, and I'm sure he has his parents to thank for all the wonderful adventures he's gone on. During a Jeopardy break, I remember asking Andy about his travel history. I asked this modern cosmopolitan if he's ever been to China, and he responds with, well, yeah, I mean, not really. I mean, I get it. It's really hard to know if you've been to China or not. I can't wait to maybe travel as much as Andy might have traveled one day. Andy has been a client of my girlfriend Amy Button's fitness and nutrition program for the past few months. And no offense, Amy, but Andy has been physically strong his whole life. Let me share you his secret for how he's been undefeated in the featherweight division. He'll get this look in his eyes like he wants to punch or push me, and before I even have time to react, he's already landing a blow to my stomach. Without any chance for my retaliation, he backs away and has graciously offered a truce before I can even try to hit him back. And honestly, what a kind person he is to offer a truce, because before I can even try to hit him back. He's so strong, there's no way I could ever hurt him. Yes, there is. Now, even though Andy was not bar mitzvahed, it is he who is more spiritually aligned with Judaism than me or Sam. There are many years where Sam, Andy, and I would attend Yom Kippur services together. To enlighten those who are not of the Jewish persuasion, you are supposed to attend services and pray all day to God, to repent for your sins, and arguably, most importantly, fast for one whole day. One year, we walked out of Yom Kippur morning services famished, and we took a stroll through Central Park and over to Columbus Circle. We walked inside the shops there, and Andy mentioned that he needed to use the bathroom. Sam and I followed him up the escalator because right next to the men's bathroom was Andy's former employer, Bouchon Bakery. In the 2 minutes it took Andy to use the restroom, Sam and I had cut the line of customers, ordered a butter croissant, and scarfed it down. We would have gotten away with it if the flaky remnants of a croissant weren't sprinkled across the tops of me and Sam. We immediately broke into laughter while Andy stood there stoically, shaking his head in disapproval. Andy would never do something like that, and I hope that one day I, and Sam for that matter, are filled with the same faithfulness and dedication to God as Andrew. I hope that after I graduate from the school of Andy Zimmerman, I can be as talented as this man is. Not everyone can be cast as a park ranger on FBI Most Wanted and be killed within, yes, hold for applause. Yep, not everyone can be cast as a park ranger on FBI Most Wanted and be killed within seconds of being introduced. Here I am thinking he would be an integral part of the show moving forward. Might I add, the director made an artistic choice to blur Andy's face and take him out of focus mere milliseconds into his primetime television debut. Hashtag no Emmys for Andys. Not good. Also, not everyone can audition for Phantom of the Opera and instead book a role in one of the most dance-heavy shows of all time as an offstage booth singer, never once having to show off his dancing abilities. This man you see before you today was the heart and soul of the first national tour of Cats. Not you, Adam Richardson. You just saw this man dance too. He's a regular Fred Astaire. Fred Astaire's son, who was an attorney at law, knew nothing about the arts. And finally, the greatest quality of Andy Zimmerman is actually not a something, but a someone, and that is his beautiful wife, Samantha Williams. I am honored to call these two my best friends. We all knew they would end up together here today, even as roommates and friends years before they started dating. They complement each other so well. For example, Sam is tasked with doing all the laundry in the house, while Andy is tasked with making sure Sam does the dishes. Sam is tasked with walking Moses and Scruffy outside to do their business, while Andy is tasked with walking himself to do his own business. Sam is tasked with making the most delicious dinners, and Andy is tasked with cleaning his plate by eating all the food on it. I kid. I love these two so much, and while we might not live in the same city anymore, I call and FaceTime them with a frequency that I'm sure makes them feel like they never left. It's my turn, okay? Whatever. Even if my calls go to voicemail, I know it's just because they constantly have their phones on airplane mode and not because you're screening my calls, right? Right? I cannot thank the two of you enough for being such supportive friends over the past dozen or so years. The best memories of my entire life include time spent with the two of you, and we have had more laughs than most people share in a lifetime together. I will always cherish our friendship. Mazel tov, and here's to a lifetime of more memories.
Hello, folks. You know, I've made my living as a journalist for about 55 years now. I've probably written 1 million words, maybe 2, read just as many. I've worked for Newsday on Long Island for 50 years, and I've worked for the Cigar Aficionado magazine for 30. So this morning I sat down to try to write something about my daughter Samantha. I was at a loss for words. What do I say about someone I love so deeply? Well, first of all, I love you. Second of all, I respect you. Third of all, I admire you for how you've lived your life. You're a hard trier, an honest and compassionate person. The best, really. And now you've kind of tripped across Andy, 10 years ago? I mean, he's sort of been part of our family for that time. I just think that what you've done with your life, well, encapsulated for me was that first night at the Engelman Theater on Long Island when you played Maria on West Side Story. And the first note that you hit that evening went straight through my heart. I was crying. I haven't been the best of fathers. You have been the best of daughters. And I admire you incredibly for that. And I know you've come across the best person to live the rest of your life with, in Andy. And I know and trust that he will respect you, protect you, and love you for the rest of your life. I am so proud to be your dad. Thank you, Sam.
And now I'd like to invite the maid of honor. Hold on. It's fine. Oh no. All right, I'll hold it. Okay. Hi, I'm Amy. I'm the maid of honor. I met Sam and Andy at NYU, and that's my backstory. Here's my speech. Sam and Andy, Andy and Sam, Samantha and Andrew. We did it, Joe. This hath been a moment 16 years in the making. For those doing fast math, I'm going to 2008, which is when Andy, Sam, and I were but wee little freshmen at NYU's musical theater and opera schools. A few days ago, I asked you both for your first impressions of each other. Sam, You said, all I can remember is that stupid page boy hat with the British flag on it. Does that help? And Andy, you said, I remember thinking my friend Mandy's roommate is hot. Oh, she's in my program? I should not have worn cargo shorts today. I recently learned that we all have many, many soulmates. Our family, our friends, our teachers, our coworkers, our kids. But a twin flame is something else. A twin flame is the person that you connect with on such a deep level that no one can compare to them. Someone that you want to spend the rest of your life with growing and learning and loving. How lucky are Sam and Andy to be both soulmates and twin flames. I believe strongly in three things: fate, free will, and timing. When I think of you two, the first word that always comes to mind is fate, destiny. You were meant to find your ways to each other because you are each other's twin flames. It took some time. A few people, places, and things filled in the space, but the universe always planned it. Now, while I do believe in the elements of the universe and destiny, I also, in your case, believe in free will, because you two did not always listen to the universe, did you? But that's okay, because the universe, it didn't give up. You created your own unique blueprint to finding love. You both somehow knew that you needed to do some growing on your own, that you needed to become the best person you could be so that when you did eventually find each other, you were ready to build something together. That leads to the third thing I believe in: timing. So yes, we could all make jokes about how long it took, but the truth is, you timed it just right. Andy, I could spend hours at a Dodgers game or learn some very interesting things about wine or have another argument over which one of our rival high schools would win in a fight. It'd be Harvard-Westlake, just, you know. Sam, I could spend all day talking to you in our weird friend voice, laughing over nothing, absolutely nothing, singing musical theater duets, screaming uncontrollably on roller coasters, or talking in depth about the lives of everyone on Vanderpump Rules. But you know what I really love? I love dinners with you two, both of you. Sam cooking something absolutely delicious, and Andy picking an amazing wine to go with it. Having a game night, laughing about college friends and memories. I just love being with Sam and Andy. So, you have done a lot of the work. You took your time, you found each other, you planned a beautiful wedding where we could all celebrate you. So let's raise our... My mic has gone out. I'm here to project. To fate, to free will, to timing.
Hey everyone, I'm Justin. What even qualifies me to be giving this speech? Well, famously, I was Samantha's prom date. I know. I still think it's weird that we did not end up together. I shared that with my ex-boyfriend. He found it equally puzzling. Also, this is a complete side note. Did y'all know that ChatGPT can hang out a wedding speech in like 46 seconds flat? Not this one, but But the interesting thing about ChatGPT, honestly, besides the fact that the whole world has collectively forgotten how every robot movie ends, the interesting thing is that the output that ChatGPT, whatever, can create for you is only as good as what you put into it. Oh, and to those of you who have not dabbled in the downfall of humanity, a brief explanation: ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence chatbot trained to follow an instruction and a prompt to provide a detailed response. For the response to be any good, you need to expertly craft a prompt and give it all the information and cues it needs to produce accordingly. For instance, the prompt, "Design a dream wedding," would result in some bland, banal description of nuptials, rice throwing, pigs in a blanket, bridesmaids who identify as female, like real hetero shit. But the prompt, "Act as if you're a recognized wedding planner with a relatively flexible budget, and design a dream wedding that celebrates two people obsessed with Italy and the fictional films of Guido Contini, who clearly have a theatrical background, The wedding should heavily feature the music of Meredith Wilson and a zest for the irony of two Jews getting married in a stunning once upon a time was a church. Right? That would result in something far more epic. And excellence takes time. The result of specificity and learning what works best. But now one Google search and there's shortcuts, advice, and hacks on how to get the best result from this ChatGPT thing, which it's tempting. But where's the integrity in that? Is it truly understanding the scope of what's even possible with this tool, quietly dreaming of how you can push it just a little bit, and then learning how to thoughtfully craft what will yield your ideal outcome? And it's not lost on me as I belabor this extended metaphor that I look up and I see this couple. The definition of integrity. At their wedding, the output of searching, understanding, dreaming, and learning. Carefully crafted, trial and error, powerful communication, and ceaseless determination. Okay, I understand that this vividly illustrative and highly effective metaphor does not exactly ring true for this couple. So let's instead consider the ingredients in a recipe. And I was going to go with like varietals or grapes or tannins or something, but I'm so much better at drinking wine than talking about it. So, as you all know, it's been mentioned several times tonight that Samantha is something of an expert, technically non-professional chef, and Andy is something of an expert, technically non-professional consumer of what she makes. And often in a recipe, the ingredients you exclude are just as important as those you choose to make. So you may have noticed today, no vows, which when I found out initially, I was taken aback. But after thinking about it, and especially after watching that beautiful ceremony, it makes total sense. This recipe didn't need them. When a couple exchanges vows, who are they really for? This profession of love and promises out loud in front of all your guests, is it really for your person? Or is it like the most glamorized version of making us your accountability buddies?
Okay, like, but do you remember when you said your love for him was like a star that would never fade? But did you know that all stars fade? And then they blow up, and then they are black holes? So are you lying then or now? Or just unfamiliar with the basic principles of astrophysics?
Yeah, I don't need to be put in that uncomfortable position as the mirror reflecting your shortcomings back at you. That's just not who I am as a person. Samantha will vouch. I will take her silence as a vouch. Okay, the quickest story, because I may be that person. And she literally told this earlier today. And although I don't actually remember this moment happening, Samantha clearly does and loves telling it. But TLDR, summer of 2011, she got a very strong choice haircut. And allegedly, when I first saw it, my face dropped and I said, "Would you like to deliver it?" I hate it. Now, before you come at me with torches and pitchforks, one, it's Pride Month, so consider your actions. Two, it wasn't a great haircut. Three, it means I don't lie. So when I tell you that there is no other couple I know in my life who doesn't need to exchange vows publicly to know how important the other is to them, it's Andy and Samantha. Over the last nearly 10 years of dating, all of which I've witnessed, they've cultivated the softest, the simplest, the most truthful love that I can imagine. From watching them boop around their apartment in Durham, to overhearing speakerphone conversations, to the occasional friend FaceTime therapy for which I am in-network only for Samantha. I've never been more sure that the goal of partnership is to find your best friend. The person willing to do the work, who fights for you, who puts up with your shit and finds your shit charming. The person who happily identifies as your caretaker. And that's this pair right here. Even as husband and wife, which like 14-year-old me is dying, I see you as two people who are always going to find each other. Two people for whom the story of sharing 3 separate high-level educational experiences and 1 employment actually makes sense. Two people who deserve nothing less than a magical day as this, and a life together after to match. I want to end with a quote that truly encapsulates what today means to me. and I'm sure all of us. And the beauty is, when you realize someone could be looking for someone like you, because jellicles would, and jellicles can. Jellicles can.